Yes, yes.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good
Good
morning. Good
morning.
morning. Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Lipstick.
I'm on my second cup because I was up
Just,
early,
I just
but it's
started.
not coffee. I've got myself a matcha latte.
I just
Latte.
found my matcha tea
Oh,
in
nice.
cleaning out my cupboard. I don't know how old it is, but I'm still going to use it. And then
Hey.
I found my whisk at the back of the cupboard, and
Oh, I don't get that fancy. I just put it in and stir.
I found my Epicure frother,
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, it's amazing what you find when you dig back in the back of the cupboard. So the horrible thing about corner cabinets,
Yeah.
is that everything gets, or when you're short,
Yeah.
girl problems, you can't see things up high and you can't reach to the back of the cupboards.
Yeah. Get that chair out. Gotta dig in there.
Yes, so you slept well?
Yeah, actually, well, it was a rough start, but my husband's working night shift right now, so I put on some meditation music, and I end up thinking a little bit too much. So if I get too much, I run out and get my melatonin, and then I go back to sleep, and I'm fine. But yeah, but I was up early this morning, 4:30, did another video in my
Yeah,
private
you
group
did
this
a
morning.
mask this
Yeah,
morning, an
did some
avocado
self
mask.
care.
Oh my gosh.
I
I'd be
know.
like, I would be like rubbing it on my face, eating it at the same time.
Well, I did. I put the rest of it on my toast, so it
Oh
was
my
good.
goodness. Yeah, it was a late night watching Lord of the Rings. And
Oh, nice.
I know, right? And then slept in till 7, so just been kind of running around. And then it's like a bad hair day, so I think I'm going to attempt self haircut today.
Oh, yes. Well, you've been
What
doing
I
it so far. I mean, you have to admit that you've been doing it
Yeah,
before the quarantine, so I mean, it
yeah, I've
looks
been thinning
fabulous all
it.
the
I don't know
time.
whether I just shave it today. Who knows? But
Be careful.
I
This would
know,
be the
I know.
time that it messes up. You can't get it fixed by anybody.
Yeah, hair grows a little slower now, but
Yeah.
nah, just have to make sure I'm eating the right food, the right vitamins, and all
Yeah.
goes well. All
That's
goes
what I
well.
was actually talking about on my video this morning, that when I was doing some like serious skincare, self-care, when I was going through chemo for my forehead, I was adding collagen to my coffee first thing in the morning, and that's what got me started because I wanted the skincare because it's
Yep.
so good for the skin. But it made my hair grow so fast that I was like, oh, I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah, I actually made a bulletproof coffee yesterday, but I really miss that collagen, so I'll have to add that to my grocery list to go grab, because that unflavored collagen you can slip into
Oh
anything,
yeah, yeah,
and
smoothies, anything. Yeah.
maybe treat myself to some grass-fed butter
There you
and
go. Get yourself some bullet coffees going.
make some bulletproof coffees. That'd be
Yeah.
and I still, you think about it, and you go get that electric little frother,
Mm-hmm.
little handheld
I need a
electric
new one.
frother,
Yeah.
and then you can never find it. And then when you see it, you don't have the money. So it's just like, oh my gosh, what a vicious cycle we live in.
Yeah. Well, you gotta have to maybe start ordering them online when you think. That's when I think about it. I do it right then and there, and it's good because otherwise I've got 16 lists going on, and like
Mm-hmm,
you said, if
mm-hmm.
I've got the money now, I'll buy it right now, and
And then not.
yeah, exactly. So I wanted to actually talk today about a little bit about our health journeys. Because I know, I mean, everybody's got their own story.
Yep.
And for us to, become the people that we are this moment, I mean, we're always shifting and always morphing into something else. But I know both of us have gone through different kind of journeys to get to where we are, to be healthcare providers, to be experts in our field and everything else. So I was wanting to talk a little bit about that today, just to maybe introduce people a little bit to
Yeah.
us and what we do. So I don't know if you want to start with that and I'll pick it up after, or
Um,
yeah.
sure. So, my sister, Deanna, who has passed, was diagnosed with brain cancer 5 or 6 years ago now. 5 years, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe longer than that. But, and that's when I was still at Pure Wellness. Um, and I think that for me, trying to find, um, signs and symptoms to better health, or where was the clues that we missed? Those types of things, looking, like, yes, it has no rhyme or reason, but it has a reason, or there is a default somewhere in the system that you can catch. So my journey in the last first it started with thermography, because it does identify lots of things, lots of inflammation, lots of um, the aspects of understanding your health from a preventative kind of point of view. For a lot of people, it does pick up other triggers. But so when I did that, I was like, I just want to be part of that journey to help people identify where they can become a better person, become better in health, and be that true proactive focus, right? And so I had started that journey, and then with the health coaching and the nutrition coaching, it was like that was always that piece that even at the health coach or pure wellness, that was all people were having a difficult time with. Like, I can pull out anything from the fridge and cook anything, and it can be really bad or it can be really good, but I don't have a problem with that. But people have a really difficult time figuring out what to eat if they're on a restrictive diet for a cancer protocol, or for weight loss, or for HCG, or for keto, or those types of things, or an anti-inflammatory. So I found that that was always sort of that missing link for people to understand, or even have assistance in preparing, wrapping their head around, or doing those things. So it was just a natural progression to do that themselves. But in this journey of prevention, I, we all understand what our parents, or what our genetic, or what we've passed down from our people to people, right? What our grandparents have is what we may be predispositioned to or not, and what our parents have we may be predispositioned to or not. But as you get older, you start asking all the questions to your aunts and uncles, and then you're like, holy crap, what's going on? I think people got blood sugar problems I didn't even know about. Thought they were all healthy, right? So it's interesting to then do some genetic testing. And I did it with Euphoria. As you know, that Euphoria is a really great company that talks about doing a swab. It comes up with 18 actionable snippets, and then it creates your own supplement. And that's what the fantastic thing. I couldn't afford it at the time, and it was funny. That's what I dreamt about last night. The people who were a part of Euphoria, that's who I dreamt about last night, quadding on a quad adventure. So strange. Um, the But it was interesting to see that I have the inability to, and this is something that, say, like Chantel Young or even Sue Pellerin in the past, when we do live blood, you would see free radicals. You would see the evidence of oxidation, right? So we're just thinking of my lavish lifestyle of heavy drinking and parties. But no, really, my genetic disposition is to not metabolize glutathione very well. That SOD dismutase snippet, and that free radical oxidation, that's what I'm predispositioned to. So what does that mean in the long run? Cancers, Alzheimer's, macular degeneration. Those were the things, right? And I've posted my results online quite often. But it's super interesting. I find that field of genetics so interesting. Like, I really wish I would have just kept going down that road of understanding. There's still lots of time. I mean, my goodness, we may still have a whole nother month of this, but you never know where the road leads you.
It'll take more than that, but
well, let's hope it's only a month. Or there's trouble going to be had in homes in Canada. But it's very interesting. So then I noticed, so that kind of brought me up to the beginning of this year, right? So 51, and I'm like, oh gosh, I should go get my eyes tested again. So I go and get my eyes tested, and she beautiful, friendly optometrist, and she's like, oh, there's a spot in your right eye. I think I'll send you to the Kent Institute. I'm like, okay, and that's all she left it at. She gave me some stuff because I've got dry eyes with my perimenopause and that kind of stuff. So it's just like, oh my gosh. So I was like, right on the hop. You came and did my thermography for me, right? my inflammation all around my eyes and around the crown of my head and everything. So of course I start going down the rabbit hole of Google.
Yeah.
What is a spot in the back of your eye? And of course, Deanna, brain cancer, spot in the back of the eye. I'm like, spiral out of control. So finally I get into the Kent Institute, which is a great company, great owners. I love them. They're fantastic. I know them from other events and stuff. And she's like, oh, didn't she tell you you have macular degeneration? I'm like, what? I'm not old enough to have macular degeneration, right? So yeah, like I mean, like kick myself in the ass for not really paying better attention to the signs and symptoms that, you know, were kind of there. The free rat, I know what you're thinking, but I mean,
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. No, just the free radical aspect, oxidation, taking those higher doses of antioxidants, the astaxanthin and
Juice
proper
Plus.
doses of Z
The Juice
and
Plus.
yeah, and Juice Plus or all of those things and all those things that were in my euphoria,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those high like frankincense, boswellia, astaxanthin, cat's claw, all those different and many things. Even it doesn't matter what's each supplement company has a really great combination of things,
Yeah.
right? And but wow, it was like, and then my husband's like, no, that's a 90-year-old. And I'm like, no, if I don't take care of myself, that's can progress quickly. Because
Yes.
even she had said that's pretty young to see that. So, I'm like wheelhousing, okay, let's do live blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we saw that there was some digestive issues already, that were still prevalent. We saw that there was some free radicals um, evident in the serum or in the samples.
Yeah.
So yes, I eat well, I walk well, I sure could lose weight, sure, whatever, but those are the things. So then I'm like, okay, I need to make a better action plan and stick to it. So that's what I've been doing since January, right? I've been using my PMF pad once or twice a day. I've been doing the foot detoxes to get, that environmental damage moving out of the body, that type of thing, supporting things for cleansing, supporting things antioxidant wise, right?
Mm.
And with my thermography report, it was looking at things that were, some kidney issues, which was part of that detoxification, right? The hormonal imbalance, which I supported with the I3C, right? Probiotics, the Candida cleanse, the all those different things, which are helping to support things long term. So when we get back together again, doing another live blood, doing another thermography, will make sense, right?
Yeah.
And then what other things could we pull in, right? So I got to use the photobiomodulation unit from Maureen at Borealis, right?
Right.
So she, and this is the great thing with the photobiomodulation, is that with her handheld, she can apply the red light therapy, because we've heard so much about red light therapy and we haven't really talked about it a lot with Jovi and things like that, but the photobiomodulation. So she did a few treatments right over my eyes, which is the only unit you can do that with,
Mm.
right? That's because it has that research behind it to do so. So
Okay.
it'll be great to get back into her to keep doing that once a week. Another creepy thing that showed up was these tonsil cysts,
Oh yeah.
right? So that all kind of showed up at the same time too. I've always had just one, but then there was three or four. So with the addition of those extra components, getting my iodine tested, for some reason it was off, making sure all of these things were good, um, really has kind of brought me to this point. I went to the specialist for the tonsil cysts because my doctor has never seen them before, and so everything was fine, no big deal. but it's interesting, right? All these different clues and what you can do and what you can learn from it. So it's
Mhm.
all a part of that, what is being presented before you, even during this COVID-19 crisis. What are the stressors that are being presented towards you during this awkward stress time
Yeah. Yeah.
that you really are weak on, or that you really need to grow upon, or that you need to learn the lesson from,
Hmm. And that's the
right?
thing. I mean, it really comes down to bringing some awareness and understanding the body, listening to the clues that the body's giving you.
Yep,
It's
yep, yep.
it's important to just, oh well, my elbow hurts, I better go to the doctor. Well, no, why is your elbow hurting? Like, why is
Yeah,
there? It's because it's doing this, so the doctor says, well, stop doing that. But
yeah. But I mean, it could be something like, is it hot? Is it swollen? Is it gout? Is it tennis elbow? Is it repetitive motion and change up your position? Or is it coming from the spine?
the
Like,
body is a miraculous machine,
yeah.
and I say that over and over again. It could be a myriad of different things on a physical level, it could be an emotional level, it could be an energetic level, it could be, and because all these different things make up who
Mhm.
we are. It could even be, and I'm going a little bit esoteric here, but it can be even on a generational kind of situation where we bring things in from past lives as well too. So I know some people believe that, some people don't. I mean, that's totally up to
Mhm.
whoever's listening to this to
Yeah,
believe.
I'm more on the generational sin or
Yeah.
generational aspect of things,
Mm-hmm.
right? So in some circles,
Mm-hmm.
some Christian circles, you may work on generational sins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in some of your circles, they may work on past life regression or past life, those types of things. So it's kind of cool.
There is actually documented proof though about on a physical level, babies being born with pesticides and
Mm,
all these different things too found in the umbilical cord, but that is passed on. So that's more of like a physical thing, mind you, but it is a literal pass on from. So
yeah.
we begin this world, we begin this life behind the eight ball, big time. A lot of
Well,
times.
it's true because the research now from when we were like 50 years ago
Hmm.
has changed to understand what's actually passed through the
Hmm.
womb, right? Or even the level of candida that's passed from mother to baby,
Hmm.
right? And my kids have all gone, Mom, thanks a lot, eh? Like, I'm so sorry.
I just needed sugar.
Oh, enough about me. That's kind of my ongoing thing, and just learning from that. But yes, I do have macular degeneration in my, yes, my grandmother had very, you know, macular degeneration for quite a long time,
And
right?
it is hereditary, that.
And
Yeah.
it is hereditary. But I think there's a level of, with the new research um, that's coming out, I think there's a level of prolonging, perhaps not just waiting for it to come and then have that injections and all those types of things. I think there is a level of understanding the things that we are predispositioned to have a level of prevention to them, or a support, but
No,
everything's,
no,
yeah.
that's totally right. I mean, even okay, so they were able to catch it early with you, like you said. This is
Hmm.
more of an older person situation, but at the same time, uh, you can like prolong it, like you said, by incorporating some healthy eating
Yeah.
habits, by maybe bringing in a vitamin A for healing, and like vitamin A is so very good for the eyes, and all these different things that are going to be so very helpful to make sure that it's not going to happen when you're 60 as opposed to maybe 90, you know.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So macular degeneration unfortunately is one of those things that we can't, if we get it, there's not much we can do about it, but it
I
is
don't know.
being able to, as far as I understand it anyways.
Well, yeah, that's it exactly. But so it's a, that it's an interesting place and time,
Hmm.
right? With the possibilities that are there and the new research that is coming out, who knows, right? So it's a good thing to track. It's a good thing to start following and actually take some serious action too, right?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole antioxidant thing, I mean, we're kind of on the edge of research that, like you said, is so amazing right now, between epigenetics and all the nutrition research that's been going on, and all these different correlations between the gut and the brain and all the
Hmm.
different areas of the body. It's just, we're just kind of like on the edge, and we're just learning so much on a daily basis. I'm hoping the scientists are still working, but
Mm.
anyways, um, that it is just, and I lost my train of thought, but it's just so much. Oh yeah, the antioxidants.
Hmm.
Um, we can't avoid antioxidants. I mean, when I look at live blood analysis of people, I mean, I always see antioxidant, or sorry, free radical damage. And free radicals are those little um, uh, cells that have been, they come in and they pull the ions out of the normal healthy cells, and they age them. So basically it's just the aging process, which we can't avoid
Right.
technically.
Yes, we can.
uh, okay,
Bio,
we can smooth.
bioidenticals. We can do
Yeah,
lots of stuff.
but I mean, we're all going to age, I mean,
Yes,
if
yes,
we're lucky. And the thing is, too, it's just a matter of how we're aging and how long we're aging. Because I mean, you know, some people that are in their 60s and don't look beyond 40. I mean, these are nice genetics that are going on with some
well,
people.
yeah, yeah.
But then, of course, you also see some people that are in their 30s that look like they're in their mid 50s, and you just, it's all genetics for as far as that goes. But at the same time, it's how we really present ourselves, and the foods that we take in, the mindset that we have, because mindset will cause free radical damage. Exercise causes free radical damage. I
Too
mean,
much, yeah.
cellular metabolism causes free radical damage. This is
Hmm.
just a normal process.
Hmm.
It's that oxidation where, if you were to cut open an apple and you see the browning of the apple, that's oxidation. That's basically what's happening to us at all times, because it's just oxidation.
Life. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's life. So when, by adding and incorporating the antioxidants into our lives, that's where we can really slow down the process and, you know, age gracefully, I guess. But also keep away the really bad viruses and bacteria and different things that are really going to cause a lot of illness in our lives, cause acidity in our lives, which will age us faster as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, it's yeah, it's just part of aging, and like I said, some people age a little bit better and faster than others, and or you know, just the way it goes. But if we can incorporate, like, one of the things that I really like is that Juice Plus, and I've been
Hmm.
using
Hmm.
that a lot, and that's a major amount of free antioxidants, as well as all your vitamin A, your vitamin C, vitamin E's. These are all your antioxidants.
Yeah, and they have the
So important.
new, the purple bottle with the higher
Yes,
antioxidants to it,
yes.
and then they have the new Omega Gold as
Hmm.
well, where they have the aspect of that too. So,
Yeah, I haven't seen the new stuff yet, but definitely when I get a little bit of money, I mean, it's expensive stuff too, but I mean, it's something that is very important. And I mean, I don't spend money on clothes, as anybody can tell. I don't go out and I drink. I don't have these major big toys. I don't have a lot of other things in my life. So this is where I spend my money on different things like
hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
that. But as far as my own health journey, I mean, it's kind of boring, to be honest with you. And that's okay. Uh, I guess my journey, my purpose has been to always care for other people. Going into nursing at a very young age, working for the last 30 years, this is something that something that I've always done and always wanted to do, and I probably will continue to do until I'm done.
Hmm.
Through my career, though, it morphed over the years. And when I was doing palliative care, and I was doing a lot of oncology and chronic care, and looking after peds, children with chronic conditions and palliative conditions, it, you know, you become very introspective and look at the big picture. And for a lot of the diseases and ailments and things that were going on, it didn't seem to make sense to me. And it always seemed to be that, you know, if people would have, could have, should have, at a certain point in their lives, might have changed the trajectory of their lives that they were on, kind of situation. Now, I know that everybody has their own journey. They all have their own path to follow as far as health goes. But at the same time, when I shifted and I worked in the nursing home situation, you know, we live longer. We're living easily into our 90s, into our hundreds these days. And when you see about 95% of the disorders coming into the nursing home, these people were coming in with things that were potentially preventable. It really got to me, and it really stuck a chord. And this was, you know, going back 15 years now, thinking that, you know, what would have happened if they had just changed their diet a little bit when they were in their 50s or even in their 30s?
Yep.
Or what would have happened if, even if they knew that they may have had potential for cancer coming up, which many of us do now because of the genetics predisposition
And the toxins.
and toxins and all these different things.
Yeah.
What would have happened? Like, would they still be in this position? Would our nursing homes be filled to capacity and then some? And then, you know, I've always kind of been interested in the gut and different things like that. So really my focus in on a lot of things is gut issues. And that now, because the research is coming out more and more and more all the time, is very much so interesting to me, because they're saying like the gut is the second brain. It's definitely our first line of defense. It's all these different things that are so connected with everything else that's going on out there. And just that ongoing being able to provide this information to people. And, you know, because of my own kind of situation too, I don't always eat properly. The philosophy and the mindset behind it, you know, helping people lose weight as well, or even have that proper mindset and body positivity kind of situation. This is where a lot of my clients coming in. But because I still have that scientific brain, it was that live blood analysis that really, like, oh, that's so cool. I mean, and I tell all my clients as I'm just staring at the pictures on the screen, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're here. Because I love it. It's just so amazing. And you can see so many different things in the live blood analysis. It's just so very cool. And it's good for my clients to see too, because it gives them a look and saying like, ooh, yeah, there's a lot of free radical damage going on there. Or we've got little bugs going on in there. Or
Yeah.
different shapes and different things that are.
I remember the first time that I saw uric acid.
Oh,
right?
yes, the crystal.
You know, the big crystal, the big burst. And it's like, oh, that's so pretty. What is that? And yeah, Dana, that's uric acid. That shouldn't be there at all.
Yeah, we don't want to see that as pretty as it. You're glittery from the inside. But yeah, I mean, I have had different issues over the years, but I mean, I've nothing specific. Like, I mean, I got to touch wood right now, because I mean, I've been fairly healthy enough to be able to take care of everybody else in my life. I've had like a cast iron stomach, so I don't have digestive issues. Yeah, I've never broken a bone. I used to have pneumonia when I was a kid. I used to have it almost regularly.
I had
But I mean, I've never smoked. I drank a little bit too much, but that was in my younger years. But I mean.
But you had melanoma? Is that what you had?
Oh, yeah. Not so much melanoma, but it was just like the precancerous skin damage that I've had and it was a tough decision to do the chemo cream on it. I went to Dr. Giroux and she gave me that. And I do still have some spots on my body that I have to be aware of. I mean, my mother had breast cancer back in the 80s. She survived. So I have to be vigilant about that. I mean, I had fibrocystic breast, which I had a tumor removed, which this was before my natural evolution. So I didn't really know that I could get rid of that naturally. So I opted out for just having it removed. But you know, you have to be vigilant. You have to be aware of these things and become, before it gets to the point where it's nasty, you know, and
Yeah.
it's a matter of, it's easier to prevent than it is to cure kind of situation.
Yeah. So yeah, even with so my grandmother, you know, the she had colon cancer. My mom and my aunts and uncles have all had polyps removed. So, you know, it was that, do I get the colonoscopy or do I not get the colonoscopy, right? So it was kind of that. I've done, you know, I've done plenty colonics. I make sure I have enough fiber. I never have any aspect of those things. So I'm like, psh, I have to. It's because it's about prevention, right? You have to, there's no other way to really see
Mhm.
other than through thermography. You would see there's something really crazy. I would, but then I would have sent myself for colonoscopy anyways, or would have discussed it with my nurse practitioner even deeper. But yeah, so it actually wasn't that bad. I regret being knocked out cold. That's the only thing, because I would have loved to have taken some pictures, as crazy as that sounds. And I'm like, after I'm done, I'm like, can I get a picture of that? Because it was still up on the screen and I was really like all stoned out of it. Can I get a picture of that? And the nurse was like, sure. And then by the time I got my phone, they said no. And I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
It would have been great, right? Or
Yeah.
great to watch the whole thing. To me, that's great. I love
Oh
that.
yeah, no,
Maybe it's
I do too. Yeah,
the
I
farmer
wouldn't
inside
think
of me.
about I wouldn't think about taking a picture of it so much, but that's just me, I guess. But I do like to see it. I do like to
Mm-hmm.
get my nose in there, and I'm the
Yeah.
worst family member. If I have to go in with my husband for anything, I just got my nose right in there, and I'm less. Are you sure? I'm talking to the doctor like this. There's something else. I'm sure that and he's looking at me like, oh God, one of those family members.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm terrible. I love to see everything, but yeah, it's just me. But yeah, no, actually, I did think about something. My my biological father actually passed away in he was 38, I believe, of a massive coronary. I do have heart issues. And
Hmm.
from a very yogic perspective, I have major heart chakra issues. So I hold and I hang on to things very tightly, but also from physical, I have like high blood pressure and stuff. And I have a feeling that has to do with my, well, it's genetic, but it's also um, that heart chakra stuff. And I think the amount that I drank when I was younger, and I was self-soothing through a bad divorce, and now my weight on top of it. So these are all things that I kind of struggle with on a daily basis. I hate taking pharmaceuticals, hate, but understand that I have to at this point because blood pressure is one of the major killers for
Yep.
women,
Mm-hmm.
and it is the silent killer
Yep.
because I don't feel it. I feel it once in a while, but it's high, so I have to really be vigilant about keeping care of that.
I've always had lower blood pressure.
Oh,
Like
interesting.
probably not so much now, but I remember playing, you know, with the heart monitor or the O2 or the blood pressure
Mm-hmm.
things at work, and it would be low. Like you're watching the EKG machine, and it would be like space up, space. I'm like, "Oh, am I okay? Like, what's going on?" So, but I mean, it's that's again a genetic thing, that
Yeah.
low blood pressure, which then probably leads to that stroke capability because it's not moving enough. And I have stroke in the family. I do have heart disease, not high blood pressure, but low blood pressure. Right. So it's interesting. It's like I started a private group with my cousins, and just to say, okay, they're not talking, so we have to compile our information together because you're all just coming up to 50,
Mm-hmm.
and so these are the questions that your doctors will ask, right? Did you know that they have there a lot of pancreas issues, or a lot of type 2 diabetes, and or on the other side it's all, you know, uterine cancer, colon cancer, Alzheimer's, or dementia, or macular degeneration. So it's interesting putting the pieces together. Not that you want to set up your wish list, but you have to know,
Yeah.
because these are things you just have to be aware of. Like I think it is. I think it's something
Yeah.
you need to be aware of. So
Yeah, most definitely. One of the things that I remember in the nursing home when my residents were very low blood pressure, though, is drinking more fluids. If that says anything, Dana, I don't know. But, for other people that might be listening, if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
happen to have
yeah.
low blood
No,
pressure.
it's important. Yeah, drinking more water. I mean,
Yeah.
and hydrate sure your electrolytes are good,
Mhm.
and the salt levels, like those types of things. And when I had talked about my blood work last time with nurse practitioner, um, one of them were off and I didn't know what it was, and she's like, that's dehydration. And I think, it was, yeah, you have to fast for your blood work, right?
Mhm.
But perhaps I just fasted too long and hadn't drank enough. But that's why it's so important to put the pitcher of water on your desk.
Yes. Yep. Never.
Right? You've got yours, and I've only drank my water with my supplements this morning, so
Yeah.
I need to get on that. But by the end of the day yesterday, I was just chugging back glasses because it was that
I was
parchment.
too. I don't
It
know
was,
what it was.
well, I don't know whether it's a change in the weather or being inside so much. I have no idea, but that, yeah, that parchment, that unquenchable.
Hmm.
So then it's you know um I keep going back to, in my thought process, going back to, how does that salt water the sole
Yeah. Yeah.
work again, right? So that's that, preparing the sole, right, which I
Hmm.
do have, that high concentration of Himalayan salts within water. And then you can add the master cleanse to it, or you can add like lemon juice to it and cayenne and other, and then drink that back. So I keep resonating back to that. It's probably because I'm supposed to do
Maybe.
that. So
Just as a PSA, though, people that are thinking about doing that should actually go to a professional and talk to them about it,
yeah.
because doing any kind of cleansing with salt waters can be dangerous. So you have to really.
Yes, especially if you have kidney issues,
We
right?
are
Or if you,
professionals, so
yeah,
we
yeah.
know a little bit about that. And I mean, even if it was something else, I would definitely reach out to Dana or any of my colleagues or professional people that I know for myself, because sometimes we actually have that blinders for ourselves as well too. So
Hmm.
I know
Hmm.
you reach out to a lot of different professionals in the
Yeah.
community, and I do as well with regards to lots of stuff, even just encouragement and kick my ass a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I
So
have to say, if I can, the one big thing that I've learned is to finding the right people, right?
mhm,
So let's say with Dr. Sherri Guillet, right, a complete family chiropractic. She does this and I'm being big plug for Sherri because she's
yeah.
incredible, and she's back at work for emergency adjustments and stuff like that.
Mhm,
But so amazing to do the total body modification that she does to balance the body to what its needs are,
mhm,
right? So if you ever have a chance, Google it. If you ever have a chance to go see her, to understand what total body modification, not only a fantastic chiropractor, but wow, it was fascinating because it she allows me to look at my supplementation a bit better. And I would love to learn more about the applied kinesiology aspect of things.
mhm,
And perhaps that's for another few years down the road. But to be able to identify the balance of nutrients better with the body than the outside of the scope of things, like
mhm.
your normal scope of things, so fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, because you had mentioned the iodine
Thyroid.
and different things that you were taking the other day, and I know that those were pretty much they were suggested to you through her through some muscle testing and stuff like that. It wasn't just
Yep.
something that you thought you needed kind of thing and did on your own, other than just like a
Yeah. Well, I
multivitamin
think,
most people can do.
yeah, exactly. Well, I think the thing is that, if you're suspicious of your thyroid, openly talk with your doctor or your naturopath or your nurse practitioner about it, because
Mhm.
depending on what your symptomology is, they can order testing, they can order the proper blood testing, or they can feel around in there for goiters and things like that. With
Mhm.
the thermography, we identify that there's a bit of a deficiency or excessiveness happening in the area. I'm still going to send you back to your doctor to say you need to openly discuss this with your doctor,
Mhm. Get some.
right? And so I've had my thyroid tested, although in the past, I've always had a goiter, or there's always been that suspicion, right? But it's always been fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm unfortunately I'm not seeing Dr. Price at this time, but where I used to do the desiccated thyroid.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps that would have been something I should have stuck with, because when she muscle tested, my iodine was really low,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So I've had to treat that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's only under her advisement, and we test it often. So it's really interesting, and it'll be great to see when I go back to the nurse practitioner, when all said and done, to get another iodine test done, another thyroid test done, to see if the things have changed, and how that benefits breast health, and how it benefits thyroid health and hair health. And I think, the endocrine system overall is the driver of the body. So, I mean, not only just the gut, but I mean, the
Oh
endocrine
yeah,
system is your
definitely.
engine. So it's important to supplement properly and see the right people for that.
Most definitely. I know even with the nutritional consult that I do, different indications come up within the consult itself. But at that point, if there is a big, discrepancy or a big indication,
Hmm.
that's when I
Hmm.
say, like, you should go to the next person and see about this for sure. This is
Yeah,
not just, uh, I see something and suggest supplements, but at the same time, it's also, get to that next level. And this is how I know you think the same way. This is how I believe this kind of system should work: is that we're all one big team working together.
right.
It's not just you're the expert in this and I'm the expert in that, and don't go and do anything else because I know exactly what I'm talking about. No,
Hmm.
because it takes a team to help a person, and
Absolutely.
it takes counselors and physicians and naturopathic and nutritionists and thermography and all these different things, modalities put together to get to the answer. Because I know so many people come to me and they say, I've done this, and nobody can give me any answers. Well,
Yeah,
no, it's not just me that can give you an answer, or you, or one person specifically. That person has to take all of that information together, and hopefully the practitioners would all work together as well and say, well, this is our client. We, kind of work in a group mentality, and to find answers for clients.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that when I was doing follow-up calls for Lisa yesterday. So in listening to or reading through their reports, and I asked the key questions of who is part of your healthcare team. And it is so exciting to me. I mean, I think it's really exciting to give them that, and looking at their results, to what may be a missing link,
Mm-hmm.
or what new. I mean, a lot of people that we do see have done this, you know, just a ton of testing, or a ton. They have been ill for a long time, and they just can't. So again, I'm a huge advocate of creating a healthcare team for yourself,
Yeah.
right? Because everyone specializes. Not everyone is that old family doctor who does everything. That doesn't
Mm-hmm.
exist anymore. So it's that, who does house calls on his
Yeah.
horse and carriage. No, the but everyone specializes. So know your people. Know, I mean, I love creating that. No matter, who are the best, not the best of the best, but who collaborate well, who are good network partners,
Mm-hmm.
who are very good at what they do. So it's connecting people to the right place, to the right people, because it's, you are trying to make yourself a better person. I'm trying to get you to be a better person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm no problem with, like, connecting people to the right people, because that's just the way it should be.
Yeah.
I always think of myself as just being a concierge.
No, but I mean, you have your own specialty as well. So, I mean, if I had somebody that came into my office and sat down and said, this, and this, but I'm having some issues with, oh, I don't even know what, maybe inflammation, hormonal health, different things like this. And I
Okay.
knew that there was some background with that kind of stuff. they would be sent to you, because of the thermography, the hormonal health, the person that knows this kind of stuff. I mean, part of all the education that I've done over the years is holistic cancer practitioner, because I mean that stuff fascinated me, and with regards to a holistic end of things, having dealt with a lot of the end part of cancer in oncology. But this is not my forte. This is not something I have that education, but I know that if I wanted or somebody came to me with cancer questions, or wanted protocols or wanted understanding of integration with healthcare,
Mm-hmm.
I would send them to somebody else that would, has more knowledge in that and as wants to work with that. So,
Yeah.
that kind of situation for sure. Mm-hmm. So this was pretty good. This is pretty good,
Awesome.
Dana.
Thank you. Yeah.
Let me think. I am going to put in the comments about Sherri, Dr.
Yeah.
Sherri.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I'm actually just kind of waiting until we can all get out of here, because I want to go see her as well and try and learn a
Total
little bit
body.
more about this body modification.
Yeah. Total body modification. It's a practice that the
Mhm.
chiropractics can add on as part of their therapies. So it's kind of pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, so if people, and I would just want to do, I mean, if you're looking for bioidenticals, like if that's something you think that you want to explore as that part of anti-aging, Dr. Price and Dr. O'Brien are Sudbury. I think Sudbury's best.
Oh, nice.
I mean, they certainly have their ducks in a row, and they've had that way for many years. So
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, that's great. Well, my coffee's almost done, so I think we're pretty much at the end.
To break out the matcha, I need that about 2:00. My 2:00 matcha coffee have to be switched up. I was able to find the mate, yerba mate.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
the
like that?
oh,
I don't like
I opened the can. It's that warm smelling vanilla, beautiful. I love it.
it. Gives me the farts.
Oh, really? That's so weird.
It does. I don't like it. I don't know. Just something about it. It doesn't work with my stomach. My
Really?
caffeine stomach is not there anymore.
Do you like chai teas?
I do, but the Uber, yeah, I don't know about that one.
Herba
A bit
mate.
fussy, I guess it is. I don't
You're
know.
fussy.
Fussy.
Morning. Yeah, I've got them and I've found them, and I was like, oh, I should probably try to see if they're still good. I don't know. That whole age thing with tea, I don't know.
I think tea. Yeah, we should actually have somebody tell us, because I don't think tea goes bad. To be honest with you, if it's been sitting in the cupboard and it's got sealed properly, I would imagine it would be a fine.
I don't know. There's some there that I'm like, I probably just will make it potpourri. So.
Oh well. Okay, so
Thank
we'll
you.
talk tomorrow, and
Yeah.
this was lovely, and it was nice to actually get on at 10 today for a change.
Yeah, it was. I know. So yeah, I'll be able to. The dog is patiently waiting outside.
Get
It's
on
yeah.
with the rest of the day.
Anyways,
All right.
have a great rest of your day.
And you too. Take care.
Thanks so much. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.